Welcome to Vsb News Online for Friday, May 1st. I'm Peter Cattell. With the International Workers' Day theme, the struggle for a better world, the Bermuda Trade Union Congress May Day rally convened on the City Hall steps at 12 noon today. Charles Webb was there and filed this report.
After a warm welcome by the Mayor of Hamilton, Graham Outerbridge, and a stirring prayer by the Reverend Nicholas Tweed of St. Paul AME Church, all against the backdrop of music by the Dowwood Middle School, one could be forgiven for wondering, where were the workers? Well, Bermuda Trade Union Congress President Chris Ferbert explained the reasons for that, as you will hear later in this report. There were perhaps only two members of the opposition Progressive Labour Party in attendance, but Mr. Ferbert explained that too. Those who were present at the lunchtime event demonstrated their support for Labour with loud applause. But Speaker Leroy Simmons, president of the Bermuda Entertainment Union, and Jason Hayward, president of the Bermuda Public Service Union, made it clear that all was not well on the ship of Labour in Bermuda.
Work for Bermudians is the key to stabilizing the economy and community. Work for Bermudians is the conduit to alleviating the pain and financial burdens individuals, our families, and community organizations continue to bear. Work for Bermudians is the promise that was made during the last election, but somehow eluded us and in some cases eradicated from the promised mandate. Work is a major ingredient as we journey through this struggle for a better world. Unfortunately, work is a phenomenon that has evaded even the best of Bermuda's entertainers. Today, labor relations in Bermuda are at an all-time low. You will see in the paper yesterday a tribunal ruling against the Bermuda government versus the trade unions. The government has deliberately tried to fabricate a dispute in order to silence the unions in this country. The government has been no friend to labor. Any government that turns its back on its workers should expect the same in return.
President of the Bermuda Trade Union Congress, Chris Ferbert, explained the absence of placard-carrying workers at the City Hall rally.
Anytime you have where one person is gathered or two people are gathered, as long as the message is getting out there, we have media coverage. So I think that we can't take things for granted, recognizing that we've asked people not to stop working. We asked people to come in their lunch hour, and I think that's the correct thing to do, because had we say that we want everybody to shut the country down for an hour, then we'd be accused of doing something else. So I think that the crowd could have been a bit bigger, but in mere fact, I'm thankful for the people that did come.
I noticed there are no members of the opposition here. Should I read something into that?
Well, I'm not sure whether you should read anything into it. I think that our invitation went out for May 1st, and we didn't say that the government was excluded. Certainly, we didn't invite no members of the government or the members of the opposition to be able to speak. I think this is International Workers' Day, and we asked the mayor to say a few words because we want to step to City Hall. But other than that, we want the workers to hear from the trade unions.
Do you feel that the Labour gets the correct amount of support from the Labour Party?
Well, I think that over the years we've had our challenges, and we continue to work through those challenges. Like everything, any relationship, takes work, and it's not going to happen because we say it's going to happen. We have to both sit down and make sure that we want to have dialogue for the right reasons.
For Vsb News, I'm Charles Webb.
It appears that there must have been something after all to those media reports, that everything was not running as smoothly at the dockyard as the authorities claimed they were. Brian Darby has been reading a statement on the issue from the Minister in charge.
The cruise ship season is hardly underway when the Minister of Tourism and Transport, Sean Crockwell, finds himself having to appeal to the taxi drivers and minibuses to stop their confrontational approach to the dockyard transportation arrangements. Minister Crockwell said today that reports have been received of operators failing to follow the proper procedures which require them to work within designated areas of dockyard and take instruction from the traffic officers. He implored everyone involved to cooperate and reminded the minibus operators that they are not allowed to compete directly with the taxis. Those who choose to flout the law or breach the terms of their permit, he said, can expect to be ticketed and risk suspension or revocation of their licenses. Brian Darby reporting for Vsb News.
Sands Secondary Middle School has become the first entity in Bermuda to be granted a commercial aquaculture license, which will enable it to operate a fish-growing plant as part of its STEM syllabus. Environment Minister Jean Atherton and Education Minister Wayne Scott were on hand to hear science teacher Cesar Feliz explain the ambitious undertaking.
The idea for having a school aquaculture program was founded many years ago. However, it was not physically implemented until a few years ago, in which the Sands Secondary Middle School purchased a recirculating aquatic system. At the same time, our Board of Governors was also looking ahead in developing the school through STEM initiatives. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. We partnered with Washington Academy in Maine and shortly thereafter began our aquaculture program as well as the boat building activities in the Design and Technology class. Later, the Sands Board reached out to the Department of Environmental Protection and began a collaboration that has benefited both the Ministry of the Environment and Education. Keeping in line with the school's mission statement, we began training young people to face challenges locally and globally. Locally, we want to expose children to aquaculture and aquaponics to meet the island's food needs and potential careers. Globally, farming reduces the pressure on wild-caught species as well as reducing Bermuda's dependence on other countries for fresh food products. In the future, the Board of Governors would like to expand this program, moving away from the usual classroom instruction and engage our young people. At Sands Secondary Middle School, we would like to promote this and other STEM initiatives and see them evolve. This program has been linked to the Cambridge curriculum and is in line with many jurisdictions around the world where there is a general push to train children in STEM-related fields.
Teenagers who fall afoul of the law in Switzerland are not always sent to prison. Many of them are sent to sea instead, in an experiment that is paying huge dividends. Witness to this is the sailing ship Salomon, now moored on Front Street, where Vsb News' Brian Darby met program manager Jonathan Reist and a young man called Matt, not his real name.
It's a social project. We are an institution, a foundation that is taking young kids on board in the age of 14 to 18 who need a timeout, a long timeout, away from their old habits, and instead of locking them up, they come on this boat.
Do they get to volunteer for that?
Yeah, some of them get to choose, and some of them have to come.
But either way, it's to get them away from their circumstances and try this as a new life. Is it working out? Is it successful?
Yes, we have a success rate of over 60%.
Really?
It always depends on every year, but last year was over 60%.
Yeah. Well, like most people who go to sea, they learn a lot, don't they?
Yeah, you learn a lot, yeah. Because it's
more than they thought they would.
Yeah, it's a life school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do they get to actually work the ship?
Yes, although the main thing is we have school. Like we have teachers who they have to repeat their schooling and everything, and then we have a part of working, like we have to keep the whole boat going, okay. And then the rest will be sailing. So they get to learn all the basics of sailing in order to go from point A to B.
Highlight is, I think, the teamwork, because we're so long together, and we grow to a team, and we trust another, and yeah, that's the highlight. In Swiss, it's never been like this.
What did you do to get yourself in trouble?
I did drugs. I had problems with police because I rob and deal, and yeah.
You're clean and you're fit.
Yeah.
So it's done one good thing. Cleared your head.
Yeah. And yeah.
What now? What next?
Next I go to Swiss in 10 weeks, and then I go to Swiss and do a job, apprenticeship.
Your life begins again.
Yeah, hopefully.
Are you grateful for the 1 year at sea?
Yeah, it was really nice, and I learned much.
The ship and her 11 guests and 8 crew leaves for Europe on Wednesday after a year's Atlantic odyssey. And we'll be back with more news right after this.
The Marketplace Food Court is you and your family's one-stop shop. Start your day at the breakfast bar with omelets made to order and traditional Bermuda codfish breakfast. The chefs will cook lunch and dinner to your liking. Along with the salad bar, sandwich bar, sushi bar, and fruit bar, the Marketplace Food Court is your kitchen away from home. Every day is hassle-free with nutritious meals from the Marketplace Food Court. Visit us 7 days a week. Homemade cooking, quality service, all at prices you can count on.
The introduction of Fort's Tours by the Economic Development Corporation is one way of encouraging business activity in St. George's. Economic Development Officer Ray Lambert feels that what started as an experiment will soon have the potential of bringing a new spirit to the old town.
It was a really good exercise in reference to how certain ideas can be trial run and give some of the entrepreneurs sort of indicators as to how to go forward from there. But I will say this, just the efforts that's been going on over the last couple seasons in particular, St. George's is now awoke. There's all kinds of stuff that's happening. There's a number of new businesses that opened up. There are more businesses opening up this season that are online and due to be open, you know, as over the next sort of days, weeks, months. So St. George's is now awake, and I think there's a lot of people that really should come down and see some of those things for themselves.
Now, with the advent of the elections coming up, and even if it's the incumbent mayor wins or there's a new mayor, this spirit is moving on to these folks also?
Definitely, you know, and obviously my role is one where I work with both of them, and as far as I'm concerned, I think the town's in good hands no matter who wins. It's a good time to be in St. George's, and I think there's been a lot of enthusiasm and galvanizing of the various groups that is good to see.
If you are a young and talented entertainer and you want some advice on how to break into show business, you should have a word with Roy Richardson Jr., a Bermudian who 7 years ago had the same dream and moved to New York, determined to succeed. Spending a month here with his family, Roy Jr. brought us up to date on his career, which currently finds him performing on board a celebrity cruise ship.
Right now I'm currently performing at sea with the Celebrity Cruise Line, and I'm part of the production cast, and we do 3 different shows, and they're like pop shows, a Broadway review show, and a circus show, like Cirque du Soleil. So in the cast there are 4 singers, there are 10 to 12 dancers, and there are circus performers. Eventually I would like to perform on Broadway. And that goal is slowly but surely coming to fruition, I think. I do have a few hoops to jump through because I'm not an American citizen, and you need a green card to perform on Broadway, in a nutshell. And then you need to get hired, and then you need to be good enough to get hired on Broadway. But my goal definitely is to get there, and to go through the visa applications and eventually, hopefully, get to Broadway.
I don't know why, but when everyone says young Bermudians should think of the work and make the effort and put it all in, every time they say that, I think of you because you did.
Yeah, it's been difficult. I struggled for a little while. I moved to New York in 2008, and I started my master's degree in music, and then after that I lived in the city, and I was definitely a struggling, starving artist, as you say. Only $100 a week to spend.
And the break came.
But yeah, I really just kept at it. I kept auditioning, and then maybe about 3 years ago, I started consistently booking work. And I was fortunate enough to work around the country doing regional theater, and I did some national tours, and I even did some off-Broadway, which is like the smaller houses within New York City.
So you regard this as a stepping stone?
Yeah, this is definitely a stepping stone.
The grounds of Government House will be open once again on Sunday afternoons from this Sunday until Labor Day. It will be the second summer that the gardens have been open to the public, and they have proved to be of particular interest to our visitors. Picnicking is allowed, and the public are asked to respect the gardens being run by students from the 3 Pembroke primary schools. Music and dogs are not allowed. There is one problem, and that is parking. No parking is allowed on the grounds, which will be reached on foot or pedal cycle via the North Gate on North Shore Road. Otherwise, the number 11 bus stops near the gate. Opening hours are from 12 noon to 5 p.m. And now we turn to Earl Baisden with the latest from the Sports Desk.
Bermuda's national cricket team departed the island heading to Indianapolis to take part in the ICC Americas World 2020 qualifiers. The Bermuda team, that now includes Michelle Painter, who the Bermuda Cricket Board confirmed as a replacement for Jason Anderson, was given some words of encouragement by the Minister of Sports, Patricia Gordon-Pamplin.
I think it's important to understand that these are young men who are the ambassadors for Bermuda. They have an opportunity to go to the next stage in terms of their qualifying track, and I just think that I want them to know that certainly the governments and people of Bermuda are tremendously proud of their accomplishments thus far, and we want to be encouraging as much as we possibly can so that they can have something to go on to get to that next level.
Captain Gennaro Tucker believes it will take a team effort to get the job done.
Basically, it's about the players leading from the front other than me. These guys are quality, so we're going to look at them to do what they do for the clubs. If they lead from the front with their clubs, then no reason why they can't lead us to the promised land in this tournament from the front in the national squad.
Now, obviously, you're coming off of the heels of a successful tour in Jamaica. Carrying that momentum into this tournament is utmost importance. What are some of the things that you guys have been working on since back from Jamaica to make sure that everybody peaks come Sunday?
I think we'll be doing a lot of fielding. Fitness is pretty much up to par because we're working on fitness a lot. It's just the basic things that you gotta keep going for the tournament. Make sure you do whatever, get your feet moving or whatever the case may be to make you a better player. So I think we'll be all right. We got quality, so it's just a matter of each person picking up their game and doing what they do best.
The America's Cup teamed up with some of the biggest names in the marine industry to launch an ambitious community sailing project with a focus of leaving a sporting legacy in Bermuda. This is an exciting project that builds on something we started during the last America's Cup. Russell Coots, the CEO of the America's Cup Event Authority, is quoted as saying, "We've enlisted the support and assistance of some of the great players in our industry who share our view that it is important to give back and create a positive legacy, not just from events like the America's Cup, but the marine industry in general." The community sailing project is built on 3 main pillars. First, and most importantly, an educational initiative, the STEM project. Science, technology, engineering, math, themed around sailing and the America's Cup. This includes modules on everything from health and nutrition to the math and physics behind sailing and yacht design. The STEM program will initially be aimed at 8 to 12-year-olds. Second, youth sailing. Quite simple. This is aimed at providing an experience in boats for kids ages between 8 and 12 years old in Bermuda. It would also give these kids access to tour the Orco Team USA base and witness the incredible technology and facilities the team utilizes. With some great industry partners to provide and maintain equipment, the goal is to reach kids from all areas of Bermuda and give them the opportunity to try sailing and develop and appreciate the marine environment. For those who show the enthusiasm for continuing in the sport, we want to provide a link between the already established sailing centers and assist them with revamping their youth programs to make their boats available to kids who otherwise wouldn't have access. Third, a college sailing internship with Orco Team USA. In collaboration with Intercollegiate Sailing Association, we are setting up a training intern program where 10 of the top college sailors in the United States will be brought in for a 5-day session each year to train with and learn from Orco Team USA. 5 of the top male and female sailors in the country will come to Bermuda to learn what it takes to become a professional sailor. St. George's Prep and Warwick Academy shared the Bermuda School Sports Federation's primary school girls field hockey A tournament title after 2 sudden death overtime periods could not separate the two teams. Neither team could find the back of the net, and both coaches agreed to share the title. St. George's had earlier defeated Francis Patton 3-0 in their semifinal, while Warwick Academy edged Summersfield Academy 1-0. Purvis Primary defeated East End Primary in the B Division final on a sudden death goal from Chechele Doling. Purvis knocked out Warwick Academy in their semifinal, while East End defeated Northlands Primary. Warwick Academy had all 4 of their players in the under-16 semifinals of the Bermuda School Sports Federation's boys badminton tournament. Number 3 seed Benjamin Barnett pulled off an upset in defeating top seed Brady Cordero 15-12 in their semifinal, while number 2 seed Sam McKittrick defeated number 4 seed Sean Tucker 15-12 in the other semifinal. Barnett then made a comeback to defeat McKittrick 20-18 in the final. Cordero and McKittrick then teamed up to win the doubles tournament 15-10 over Salter's team of Aaron Nelson and John Eels. MSA's Evan Mosley defended his over-16 title with a 15 win over Jacques de Vitali from Warwick Academy. I'm Earl Baisden reporting for VSB Sports.
Looking at the weather for Saturday, May 2nd, it will be partly sunny with a couple of showers. Winds will be southwesterly and moderate, increasing moderate to strong by afternoon, veering westerly overnight. We are expecting a high near 73 Fahrenheit and a low near 66 Fahrenheit. This weather forecast is the courtesy of the Bermuda Weather Service. Thanks for watching VSB News Online for Friday, May the 1st. I'm Peter Cattell.